Hi everybody, this is Dan Talks Sense, and today I'll be reviewing a new fragrance from the house of Kenzo. It's Kenzo Pour Homme Eau de Toilette. This is a 2022 version, and in today's review I'm going to tell you what it smells like, what it compares to, how it performs and projects on my skin, and make a conclusion at the end on whether I think you should go out and buy this fragrance. So if you want to know more about this fragrance, then please stay tuned. Welcome back everybody. Now, if it's the first time dropping into my channel, my name's Dan. I'm a fragrance enthusiast from a little place called Dorley in Telford, Shropshire in the UK. And the way that my reviews work is that I will purchase the last 10, 15, 20 mils of a fragrance. I'll give you my first impressions of it, and I'll do a bit of a diary on how it performs and projects off my skin. So you might find this thing interesting, the way I do things. I am always open to feedback from my subscribers. Some people say I do waffle on a little bit too much at the start of the videos, but I do try to give you an idea of how I get my hands on these new fragrances. I do manage to get my hands on fragrances that haven't been released there in the UK. I'm good friends with a member of the fragrance groups that I'm part of, a guy called Jovan Lee, and he'll often say he wants to buy a sample of the brand new fragrance that's just been released. Recently, he said that he could get his hands on the brand new Kenzo. Throughout my time, being interested in fragrances, I've not really been a huge fan of Kenzo, but I have been aware of them. And what I do know about Kenzo is that they do produce fragrances that are slightly different and a bit out there. I'm a big fan of the fragrance reviewer Joy Amin, and he often praises the house of Kenzo and says that he loves that they will try and experiment with different notes and stuff, and they're pretty cool. What I do like about the presentation, I will show you a close-up of the bottle, but I just think it's a pretty cool bottle design. It's different to most of the bottles that I've got in my collection. I have also been given a small sample of the new Kenzo, which I will be trying on today. So what I'm going to do now is give you my first impressions of it, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. Wow. That's on the initial spray. It smells really fresh and aquatic, really refreshing. And the only thing I do know is that it's an aquatic fragrance, this one. I will show you the note breakdown shortly. So spray on my wrist. I always spray on the neck as well. Wow, that is so good. Now, when I first sprayed it on, it is a little bit synthetic, but it is really refreshing and aquatic. And what it does remind me of is being abroad somewhere in a really hot country, and you don't want to wear anything that's too sickly. You just want to wear something that's refreshing. So you might have been in the sun all day and your skin's glowing, and you might be having a fruit juice or a pint of lager, and you're sitting outside and you just want to spray something that's refreshing and clean. This is what I get with this fragrance. And I don't have many fragrances, this type of fragrance. Don't own too many blue fragrances, and the ones that I own don't perform too well. So what I am hoping from this one is that it performs well, projects, and it'll be a nice option for the summer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the presentation, show you the note breakdown, and then of course what I do with all my fragrances is a bit of a diary on how it's projected and performing outside. So if that kind of thing would interest you, then stay with me. So guys, we look at the presentation. It's a really basic design there, the white box it came in with the blue bottle on there. The bottle itself I think is pretty cool. You've got the juice there, a little bit of juice left in the bottom, which I'm going to sample today. I've also got a sample which Jovan sent to me as well. So that'll be what I'll be using today when I go on my walk to test it out. So in this one we have C notes, calypso and nutmeg in the top, with patchouli and pine in the middle, and sandalwood and cedar in the base. So guys, I've been wearing this fragrance for a couple of hours now, and it's really refreshing. I would say it's compared to most of the fragrances that I own in my collection, it really stands out. How I'd compare it to other fragrances and things in a similar ballpark, I'd say Davidoff Cool Water, I would say Bulgari Atlantique, I'd probably say Issey Miyake as well. Those really refreshing fragrances, those blue fragrances. It's got solid performance actually, because I've been getting whiffs of it when I've been going around the house. I will shortly be going outside, and I will finish up the video when I'm outside just to see how it is outside in the elements. But what I'd say is it's really refreshing, and it's a nice fragrance to wear in the high heat of the summer. Most of the fragrances that I own are vanilla, tobacco fragrances, gourmand type fragrances. I like ones that are loud and project. I haven't got a lot of fragrances that I can wear in the high heat that are refreshing. Now, put this scenario to you. It's a hot day, you've had a shower, you're sitting around the house in your pajamas, and you do want to like top up your shower gel with something that is refreshing and clean. You don't want to put something on that's heavy, you know, and in your face. This is a type of fragrance that'll be perfect for that situation. In terms of a summer fragrance, I think this would be a really popular choice for the year 2022. You get like the nice pine in there. So the best way that I would describe it is if you was walking down the beach and you smelt the nice, fresh, crisp sea air, but you get a bit of that pine in there as well. And you also get a sort of a little bit of saltiness in there as well. So for me, it's a very unique fragrance. And different to what I would wear and what most people would generally wear. But I think it's nice to have something that's different that's been brought out onto the market. It's quite good how they've managed to capture the essence of the sea. And the only other fragrance that I can think of that does it as well as this one is Bulgari Atlantique. But with that fragrance, I had that one in my collection before, but something put me off about it. One time I was wearing it in work, and some of the students walked into the area where I worked and said, it smells like really strong Lynx, like the body spray. And they said it just put me off, because I don't want to smell something that smells like Lynx body spray. And I did get it, the fact that the Atlantique could smell quite synthetic at times. It was a beast mode of a fragrance, but yeah, I did get that cheapness to it. I used to pick that up, and that was the final nail in the coffin for me when I heard that. They might not even been on about me, or you know, they might have smelled something else, but it just kind of put me off. But with this one, it smelled a little bit synthetic on the opening, but as it's got into the couple of hours in, it's really clean. It'll be a nice refreshing fragrance to wear in the high heat of the summer, and it's a moderate projector. I'm getting nice whiffs of it around me. So the three things I would say, it's aquatic, it's a bit salty, and it's refreshing, and not a nice fragrance to have in the collection. I don't think that I would rush out to buy this fragrance. It's not one where I'm really excited and think I need to go and get my hands on a full bottle of this fragrance now. But equally, I'm pleased that I managed to get my nose on this one today, and to give you my thoughts on it, because it's something different, and that's part of the fragrance journey, is smelling fragrances that are different. We have so many that are in the same ballpark these days. It's nice to actually smell something that's a little bit different to what we'd normally smell. So to finish up on the video, I'm going to film outside before it gets too dark, and let you know how it's performing outside, because that's always an interesting one, because sometimes you'll be walking through outside and you'll get whiffs of it. So that's how I'll finish the video up with my final conclusion. Not the best scenery to conclude on down here. It's a part of Manningsley, but I like this walk. I want to go to the shops. It's a really chilly day in the UK, and this fragrance, it kind of fits because I said before it'd be nice when you're somewhere like a hot country having a meal maybe at the end of the night. For me, with that pine in there and the woods, it's sort of if you went to the beach on a cold day. It reminds me of that as well. If you were walking the dog on an empty beach, funny enough, is that a cat or a dog? I can't see without my glasses on in the distance, but yeah, that sort of thing. If you're walking your dog on the beach, it's chilly, and you get the salty sea in the air, really crisp, really nice and refreshing fragrance. It's still performing and projecting on my skin after 3 hours, so that's quite good really. So a nice summer release from Kenzo. I won't be rushing out to buy a bottle, but I do respect the release, and I'm sure a lot of people will like this one if they like their blue fresh fragrances. So I'll probably give this one about a 7 out of 10 because it's different to what's out on the market. It's got decent performance and projection, and I do like the scent itself. Scent breakdown, scent DNA is a really nice one. Overall thoughts, nice solid release from Kenzo, and I hope you enjoyed that review. I'll speak to you all very soon.